Hello my lovely crafty friends and welcome to the Crochet Cakes YouTube channel. My name is Clarissa and this is a channel about all things crafty, mainly crochet. This week, it's September, so that means pumpkin brain. And before we get any further into this podcast episode, let me ask you, do you also have pumpkins on the brain? Have you gone and gotten yourself a pumpkin spice latte or a PSL, as the TikTok girlies say? Let me tell you, Starbucks introduced a new drink, which is a chai PSL. Makes kind of sense, but also not really, because I think the PSL flavors overwhelm the chai flavors. And I don't know about you, but I get nervous whenever I walk into a Starbucks and I read the menu 5 times so that I know exactly what it is that I'm going to order. And then I approach the cashier with all the confidence I can muster, and I proceed to blunder the order entirely up to the point where they just look at me and go, "Is this what you would like?" And I just reply, "Yes." And 9 times out of 10, I actually get what I order. Other times it's something similar. I never complain though, because, it's hard to interpret. See, but anyway, this time I walked and I was trying to order the new chai latte. And the guy just looks at me, he's like, "Oh, do you want the newest drink?" And I'm like, "Yes, indeed I do." So he says, "The one on the poster, right?" To which I reply accordingly, "Yes, please." Now, the one on the poster in front of me was what I believe whatever they call the small, so it's like the 12-ounce ice cold drink. But the one behind him on the poster was the big 20-ounce drink, I think, which is it the venti? I don't know, their names make no sense. The point is that is the one he gave me, the 20-ounce iced drink. And I was very intimidated. I didn't know what to do, so I texted my husband. I was like, mistakes were made here. Would you help me drink this? So he goes, and I got home. Guys, that was about 50 ounces of syrup. I know it's only a 20-ounce drink, but it was about 50 ounces of syrup. So I proceeded to determine that I was going to, this year, definitely find a pumpkin to attempt James Hoffman's pumpkin spice syrup to make a pumpkin spice non-coffee latte. So just, some very dark black tea for me. And anyway, rant aside of pumpkin spice and the pumpkin spice life, I hope that you are doing well, and especially keeping safe if you were in the recent path of a hurricane. I've lived with hurricanes all of my life. And I never want to deal with them. Okay, it's true. I've lived with them all my life, and I don't like them. I get that they're a part of nature, but we're not friends, okay? We're not friends. So, all that to say that while I love the spirit and magic of autumn, I struggle with actually immersing myself in the season. And I believe I already mentioned this last year when I made my kind of little September autumnal love letter video. I'll link that in the iCard or in the description box below, which incidentally, in the description box is where you will find all the useful links to things that are mentioned in this video. But anyway, in that video, I believe that I mentioned that autumn is a season that looks a little bit differently for everybody. It doesn't matter if you live in the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere. Like, for example, in the southern hemisphere, autumn is actually in March when we're celebrating spring in the northern hemisphere. So autumn can look different for everybody, and for me, a person that's always lived in the tropics, autumn is just a hurricane season. It's like the height of hurricane season, because hurricane season actually goes from June to November, but I think we experienced, or at least most of my life, I felt that we've experienced the worst of the hurricanes between August, September, sometimes October, and last year we had a wild one in November. So autumn, for me and other people around the globe that experience hurricane, it really just looks like the time where you are storing batteries, making sure you have canned food, making sure you have non-perishable items, which often include a lot of sodium that you don't want in your life, but diets go out the window when it's hurricane season. And by diet, I just mean like low sodium, anything. So yeah, making sure you have enough canned food, making sure you have water, or, hurricane prep. But this year, I decided that in order to help myself get into the spirit of it, I thought that we could share our autumnal hopeful makes. And by we, I mean that through this video, I will share my own. And if you are so inclined, in the comments section, you can also share your hopeful autumnal makes. Also, I should preface, or I should pause and say, if you hear any whoo, that's the wind blowing outside, because we are experiencing some of the winds of Hurricane Idalia, which is currently, you know, making its path through the west coast of Florida. I live on the east coast of Florida. So yes. Let's begin this magical autumnal hopeful makes list, and I hope it inspires you to create your own. Incidentally, if you would like a little autumnal checklist in this Sunday's newsletter today, what day is it today? Oh, today's Wednesday. So in this Sunday's newsletter, if you are subscribed, I'm going to be sharing a screenshot of my autumn makes list, and I'm also going to be sharing a PDF so that you can download your own and put whatever you want there. It can be baking, it can be sewing, it can be felting, it can be movie watching, it can be book reading, anything you want. It's your list. Nobody can tell you what to put on it. Okay, so this is the second sample for my mugs. I didn't really like this sample because I don't know, I thought my design looked a little weird there. If you follow me on Instagram, you know about the whole mug debacle, and incidentally, thank you so much for helping me choose a mug that you guys would enjoy using, purchasing, or just having in your mug cupboard. Which, to be honest, that's where most of my mugs lived, in the cupboard, but it's such a joy when you open your mug cupboard and it's full of all these things that bring you joy. Anyway, on to things that bring joy, or on to things that I want to spark joy this autumn season. Number one, I've mentioned it many times before. I even created a tutorial for it in my Spanish channel, which is Crochet Cakes en Español, and I will link that for you down below, because, you know, if you want to watch the tutorial, you don't have to understand the language. I would like to think that it's pretty clear what I'm doing. But anyway, it is the Otoño tapestry crochet from Mind and Muse Crafts, Caroline of Mind and Muse Crafts, who is also my mom. I am obsessed with this tapestry. I've never actually used it as a tapestry. I always turn it into a cushion, and I am even more obsessed with the second cushion that I made out of it because I put a zipper on it. Yes, I did. And I absolutely love the little frilly edge that I gave it as well. So yeah, I will link those videos down below for you if you wanna, you know, see what the finished cushion looks like. I'll also put a picture here, Clarissa. Editing Clarissa, hi. And just in case I haven't mentioned it before, Otoño is autumn in Spanish, okay? So it is still very much evoking of the season, and I think the colors I chose to make it in also evoke the autumnal magic. So second on my list is actually an amigurumi that I believe has been in my purchased patterns on Etsy for 2 or 3 years now. And I know you're probably saying, Clarissa, amigurumi, and I can feel my Rhaenyra plushie just judging me right now. I have not forgotten about you, okay? I was just putting you on pause because I was trying to think of all the details I wanted to add. Yes, that is an excuse. Anyway, it is Witchy Wendy, and I just think she is so cute. I mean, look at her little stocking feet. Oh, she is so cute, and I would actually like to get her at least started this year. I don't have to finish her. I just want to start her, even if it's like 2 little feet. I just want to have something done so I can say, I worked on this. And third on my autumnal magic makes list is something I actually already started, and it's on its way to completion. I can't say it is completed, and I can't tell you how long it will be until it is completed because let me show it to you. It is the Love Magic sweater, which is actually a knit design from, sorry, I have a tangle, which is actually a knit design from Disco and Stitch. And it's been on my radar for years. I've just, you know how I feel, knitting intimidates me. And this year I realized that the list of things that scare me is very long, and I don't want to live that way. So each day I'm taking a little bit of efforts, little moments to just challenge myself and face my fears. So I am knitting my third ever knit garment. And this is the Love Magic sweater by Disco and Stitch. And you might be saying, oh, Clarissa, you're only missing a sleeve. You're good, girl. But the sleeve is this. This is the sleeve. This ginormous thing is the sleeve. It is a bell sleeve, a ridiculously big bell sleeve. Now, if you know me at all, you know that I probably adjusted the pattern as I went through it. So let's start with the first obvious change. And the first obvious change is that this is a pattern written for DK weight wool, and I've used a DK weight cotton because it's what I had in my stash that I had enough yardage of to make a bell sleeve out of. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, in the pictures, the bell sleeve kind of covers her hand way too much, and I thought I would find that to be a nuisance. So as I was knitting up the sleeve, I think I eliminated one row from each decrease segment, and I think I lost count when I was making the bell sleeve of how many increase rounds I had done. So I'm pretty sure I shortened the increases round, not intentionally, just unintentionally. And then in the lace section, I decided to only do 2 rounds of lace because the sleeve has 244 stitches, and lace, it was turning into a bit of an ordeal. So I ixnayed the last 2 repeats of the lace. And thus, it has resulted in a sleeve that is here. Now I'm hoping that with some blocking we can change the nature of that, because the lace will stretch quite a bit, and if it doesn't, then let me show you my plans. So I cast off the body of the sweater yesterday, and what I did was that I actually cast off using single crochets, and then I worked another round of single crochets in the back bump, and that creates like this little bit of a double ridged effect at the bottom. If you are new here, hello and welcome. But also I often like to combine knitting and crochet because I feel that crochet strengthens the knits or gives it more structure. So you'll often find that in my projects, I add knitting to my crochet projects, or I add crochet to my knitting projects. It's just a little thing. So yeah, this is the Love Magic sweater. I will have notes on Ravelry if you use Ravelry, and I will write up a blog post in case you don't use Ravelry and you would like to read up on all the chaos that this sweater has caused. Right, so that was third on my list of autumnal magic makes, hopeful makes, I don't know. We'll know by the title of the video what I actually called this. Okay, and fourth on my list is, yeah, that was third, right? So fourth on my list is just casting on the Superstitious pullover. The Superstitious pullover is another knit sweater that has been on my radar that I've just not cast on because DK weight wool is not something that I often have a lot of in my stash. And more to the point, I never have DK weight wool, and right. So I want to knit it. It is a beautiful, gorgeous design that has so many customizable options available to it. My mom gifted me the pattern last year, I believe, or maybe the year before that. So my goal this year is literally just to cast it on. I have no plans to actually finish this sweater, no goals of finishing this sweater before Halloween is over, but I just want to cast it on. That's it. I just want to have it cast on, and I found some yarn in my stash that I think will go very well with it, so I'm excited. That was the most like one-note excitement ever, but no, I am excited to work on this pattern and just to, by the end of next year, have a Halloween sweater as well. Well, I think I'm gonna make it short sleeves because, again, tropical girly here, so. Long sleeves, I don't know. I'm always cold though, so we'll see. Right, and so this was going to be the 4 items that were going to be on my autumnal hopefuls makes list because I think they were pretty ambitious given all the crochet work I also have to do and all the video tutorials and just general crochet content videos I want to create for you guys. So this was the 4 things that were on my list. But as you do when you're scrolling Instagram or Pinterest, something always sneaks up on you. And what snuck up on me this year was Brianna K Designs. She did something that's just beautiful. It is a basket, pumpkin, and you store your leaf coasters in it so that when you're done with it, it's going to look like a full little pumpkin with these little spirals from the leaves sticking out. So far I have crocheted the basket. Now mine's looking not very pumpkin-like, so I think I'm gonna play around with stretching out and maybe putting some elastics to cinch it in and everything, but it's because I used some homespun woolly wool that one of my neighbors had gifted me, and it's a little bit on the floopier side. But to make the leaves, I am using cotton yarn and a 4.5mm crochet hook, specifically a Furls Resin Streamline 4.5mm crochet hook. I will link the video for you down below. She also has a written PDF pattern and a you can subscribe to her website and you can see the patterns. Yes, I believe that is it. So here is 1 leaf finished, 2 leaves finished, and I think I'm working on a 3rd one. I just sit down in the evening while my husband is playing video games, sit down to watch him play video games, and I crochet on little projects like this. So those are the patterns and makes that have been on my radar for this magical autumnal season. And now I just want to mention that as Crochet Cakes designer, I do have some autumnal patterns to share with you, and I'm going to put pictures of them. And my favorite, okay, so they're both my favorite. I have 2 crochet sock patterns to share with you. One is the Misdirection sock pattern, and I love it. It is a color work sock pattern. Don't be intimidated. It's honestly very easy color work. There is a video tutorial to walk you through changing the colors, reading the charts, everything like that. So it's all included with the paid for PDF pattern, and I really like these socks. They are pretty high. So if you're not into that, then I would suggest finding a lace weight yarn that also has nylon in it, so like a wool nylon blend, but it's lace weight, so you could use a smaller crochet hook and potentially get a smaller sock. The other one is the squared root socks. I really love these socks as well. They are also color work socks, but I promise they're easy, and they also, the PDF, paid for PDF, comes with a video tutorial. I will link both of these patterns for you down below. One of them can be purchased on Ravelry or Etsy. I'll leave that link. And the other, the Misdirection socks, can be purchased on my Ravelry store, but it can also be purchased on the We Crochet official website because it was a sponsored project, very kindly sponsored project. So those are my 2 favorite Crochet Cakes fall designs that are sock related. In the garment category, I have a vest because I think vests are a super fall item. I don't know how you feel about vests, but I find that they're a super fall item, and it is the Ivana vest. And the Ivana vest can also be purchased on Etsy, it can be purchased on Ravelry, it can be viewed for free on my website, or it can be purchased as a pattern and you can buy the yarn on the We Crochet official website. It is a very cropped vest that I designed using, oh my god, I don't remember the yarn, but it is a tweed yarn, and I love the Ivana vest. I also introduced you to this pattern a while back because I turned the Ivana vest into a dress, and there is a video on that as well that I will link in the iCard as well as in the description box below. I'm gonna take a moment and breathe because words are hard. And we're back after a huge gulp of water so that we can hopefully not contain our excitement, but you know, flow better with it, flow better with the excitement. So I was talking about the Ivana vest, right? And the Ivana vest, I love this pattern. I really, really do. I love using the vest as a top, maybe under a pair of overalls. I love using the vest as an actual vest and wearing it with big flouncy sleeve shirts and collars, very high collared shirts. I also love wearing the Ivana vest over dresses. I just love pairing it with as many outfits as possible because I think it's just a really fun make. And in terms of difficulty, I would say it's a little bit intermediate because we do work with linked stitches, and we also combine several decrease methods and seaming methods to make this top. But in terms of adaptability, I think it's a very adaptable pattern. You can adjust the length and the width that you need to fit your body shape, because remember, every body is different, and that is okay. That is something I like to celebrate in this channel. But yeah, just remember that any changes you make to a pattern will affect the amount of yarn that you need. So these are the Crochet Cakes designs patterns that I am recommending for you. These patterns already exist, and if you've made any of my patterns before, or if you checked out my Ravelry design page, which of the patterns do you think is more autumnal or fall-like? Which one just screams fall to you? I asked my husband the same thing, and he actually said it was this top that I'm currently wearing, and I'm gonna stand up. So this top is the Flower Child top. It is a pattern that I designed originally with We Crochet Shine Sport, but then they sent me the Galileo yarn that I'm currently used to make this one, to make the Flower Child top, and I like this yarn much better. It's a true sport weight yarn, like Shine Sport. I think it's labeled incorrectly. It feels more like a DK weight to me, but it's still a lovely yarn to work with. I really love the feel of Galileo Sport. It is a 50-50 bamboo and wool blend, and I actually used it to make a pair of socks, and I will link that for you down below because it was a bit of an experiment to see if this yarn would work for socks, and it wasn't bad. It really wasn't. So that is it for all the crafty crochet chat from me today. If you are also, ooh, sorry, I just kicked the camera. So that is it from the crafty chat from me today. I do have so many ideas rolling around in my head of things I want to create for you guys, patterns that I want to update, which the Flower Child is one, because it's currently graded only up to a 47-inch bust, and I do want to take that to a 62-inch bust. But you know, all things in good time. This year we've already regraded the Flower Duster, which is a favorite of mine and yours as well. And I am also currently working on revamping, regrading, just remaking entirely almost what I used to call the Bubble in Time top. I am going to be changing the name of it, but here is a very non-finished item because I'm working on actually weaving in the ends on this one. This is the top. This top, I first made it in 2018, but I'm much happier with the fit that I've created now. So it's still a bottom-up construction, but I've designed it to have 0 ease if you're so inclined around the waist and the bust as well. And my favorite are still the little bubble cap sleeves. So this was originally called the Bubble in Time top, but I am thinking of calling it the Caramelo top because it is, there are a lot of differences in the making of it and the fit of this item, right? So that is actually the last crochet thing I have to share with you. You know, I'm just working along, reading my books, and watching vlogs on YouTube about people having outside adventures, and it's making me really want to take up skating, just roller skating or roller blading. I feel more secure on roller blades, but roller skates just look so cute. But Roller skates also called my attention for the nostalgia of them. Like, I know those were the skates Mom learned how to skate in, and my dad, when he was a young boy, a young lad, my grandfather used to take him to watch roller derby in Puerto Rico. I didn't even know Puerto Rico knew what roller derby was, but apparently it was big when my dad was growing up. So yeah, just nostalgia, for the nostalgia of it. Please let me know how you're doing in the comments section down below. Let me know what projects you're currently working on. Are you feeling the pumpkin spice love? Are you into, what is it that Rachel Maxey calls it? Crunchy, leafy, crunchy, leaf? Never mind. Brain is not working. But anyway, I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending a little bit of crafty time with me today. And just every time that you interact with me or purchase patterns from Ravelry or Etsy or visit my website, it really, really means a lot to me. And if you're subscribed to my newsletter and you reply, do know that I read those replies, I reply, and I love them. I love them. It's just so special to actually get feedback on the things we make. You know, as makers, I think it's just something that brightens our world a little bit. So anyway, from me today, I want to wish you a very, very happy crafting. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And if you want to stay in touch or message me or anything like that, all my details are also in the description box below. Bye.